Let's give it up for our next keynote speaker.
When I was learning to design in the early 70s, user experience was integral part of whatever you designed. You had to make it good. I'm fascinated since this morning that what used to be a important subcomponent of the total design work can hold so many people, the subcomponent and its subcomponents engage about 1100 people since morning till now. This is very, very fascinating. When Kaladhar Bapu called me, will I give a keynote address in this conference? I said, my speeches tend to be disruptive. He said, that's okay. So I apologize if what I say will unsettle some of you, but it's intended to unsettle all of you.
And who created 7 heavens in layers. You do not see in the creation of the most merciful any inconsistency. So return your vision to the sky. Do you see any breaks?
Look at the heavens. Can you see any cracks? The Holy Quran says God has prescribed perfection in all things. And the next statement, perfection is a sense of beauty and virtue. I taught a course in Islamic design when I was in NTU, and this actually should be an objective for every single designer. Everything we make should be worthy of being in this world. There's so much trash happening all over, we clutter the world. This idea that this earth of ours is a small little family is an Indian idea. The word is kutumbakam, not kutumbam. Kutumbam means the small little family, and this puts responsibilities on us. We believe the God of all of us, people who create things, is called Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma means the one who made the universe. And according to Indian tradition, we should make all objects in the same way as God creates the world, following the same principles and same rules by which cosmos is created. So one of the first things in learning to design should be to learn how nature designs anything. The algorithms of nature by which things grow, the processes by which they keep renewing, and the variation programs which ensure that no two things are ever alike. 7.5 billion people, all are different. Every blade of grass is different. Professor Koisugira, my guru, in him I found the person who designs like God. He uses design programs, he does not design individual objects. Infinite variations, no two pages will ever be alike. He's designed more than 10,000 graphic books, and he's very relaxed. The creation is effortless. If you remember the image of Lord Krishna sitting under the tree, playing his flute, and everything is fine with the world because he created the world which runs by itself. And so his work, if you see, within a given visual framework, there is constant newness, always something new he is able to create. And this goes on with many innovations which completely change the way we look at design. Over Vastu and Shilpa Shastra, Vastu Shastra deals with built objects and architecture, Shilpa with images. They are, if you study the work, they are parametric and process driven. They are not absolute things. Form creation is through algorithms. You just follow. Actually, you remember and then execute. There are no drawings ever. They're just verbal instructions. And visualization happens first forming a strong mental image, then meditating, then articulating, and then realizing that image through verbal articulation of attributes. So growth sequences, parametric variation, form generating processes, expression of essence rather than physical experience. The last point takes time to understand because we are used to depicting the outer physicalness, but there is something known as essence of something is the isness. And to find that essential quality, that tanmatra, and to depict that. So this is a growth sequence from a second century work, Oscar Samhita Mandalas, we recreated. So you can see how from 3-petal lotus, when it becomes 25 lotus, new components emerge. Similarly, when the tree grows, first only 2 leaves, finally it goes very big, then fruits come, then flowers come. So along with growth, complexity comes. It's not just scaling. And our great architects of that time, actually the great thinkers about architecture, created sequences, created growth forms, created possibilities which then can take any possible configuration. So they didn't design individual objects. And these are temples in India. How complexity increases when the size increases. All these ideas are now driving contemporary form creation. But in India, they're like 2,000-year-old, 1,000-year-old. So this is a realized temple, Shiva temple in Udaipur, built by Raja Bhoj. And the recent science of actual sciences. So they don't define one room, but the entire range of possibilities of one room. Bharat Natya Shastra, actually any Shastra means codified knowledge. That means we totally know and we can do whatever we want with it, which masters complete control over creative expression, and that code is verbal. We only speak it. So you create meanings with gestures and body movements, eyes, eyebrow, lips, facial expressions, and anything is possible. This is just the head, then the whole body, then the gesture, then everything else. All possible. Whatever you want to create, you can do with absolute control. This is the point about essence. So this is not image of any physical female form. It's an image of an ideal female form. The idea of perfection, what shape it will take. I had organized an exhibition in Singapore, The Way of Asian Design, which elaborated on this idea. So, in spite of having such a strong formal tradition, lot of which has advanced ideas compared to what we are currently doing, 200 years of British rule destroyed all of it. We completely forgot. They came, they conquered, they became the rulers, they set up the design schools, they set up the architectural schools, all the JJ School of Art or Lucknow Art College or Calcutta Art College, and that decided how designers will be trained. So graphic design, book design, product design, architect design, we forgot everything which was so precious and much ahead. Chinese government, during Manmohan Singh Ji's time, there was a festival of India in China. And they invited me to create an exhibition on contemporary Indian graphic design. I started searching what can I show, because we don't want to appear inferior to China. So except some agarbatti packets and some Hawaban Harre and Churan packets, I cannot find anything which is not in English. No, I don't want to project an India which looks like a copy of Western and India appearing a English-speaking country. So if you see this, if you see it looks like Indian design education in great shape. More than 2,200 design schools. Now nearly 2 lakh students applied to become designer. We were just 11 of us and our parents very worried what will happen to us. He wants to become a designer. And many design festivals, SDEF and the registration, they all over, about 10 to 12 great patient people like this come, mostly young people. And for some reason, I cannot really figure out, Indians think that we have to be global. I don't know what it means even. But apparently it means if you work in English, you are global. So this is Professor Sudhira's Japanese typography. You can do work in your own language and still be global. These are Iranians doing Persian calligraphy, but only we Indians, when we start a new design school, the USP is collaborate with a global design school. So global curriculum, contextualized for India. When we started the VC program in 1981, I had made a compulsory course Indian thought and tradition, because I had come inspired from Professor Sugiura. He transformed the nature of Japanese design. I'm talking about the hurdles one faces when trying to work in Indian languages. So for the first semester, it was a full credit course with a project component. Next year, everybody opposed it. IIT best of Indian students come. Don't regionalize them. Don't just tell about India, let them be international. So it just became a 2 credit course. Those who attended this course used to be very popular. Professor R.K. Joshi and we had decided actually that we will only work in Indian scripts. So all font projects will be English, will be Indian scripts. And I had a course called Advanced Typography course. So it was the rule, you cannot do an English language project. It was not like jiddipan on my part. There are so many ready-made models where you do English typography, but when you do in your own language, you have to think fresh. But people were convinced कि हिंदी मलयालम में टाइपोग्राफी करोगे कहीं जॉब नहीं मिलेगा. So out of 16, 3 or 4 people will come Rest wanted to become international. As it happened, the ones who joined this course became international. This is Kimya Gandhi. This is the reason you can see Indian fonts on your mobile phones is S.K. Mohanty. So people who enriched Indian typography became famous. In one of the private universities I used to teach, and the junior person was teaching typography, I learned from two of the world's greatest typographers, Goi Sukivra and Helmut Schmidt. I said, let me take one of your assignments. You keep doing these standard old things. So the second year students did parametric variation in typography. Each one took their own script and very beautiful results came. Each one had to clear variations of 10 different posters. So how we vary? This is Malayalam. And I thought everyone will admire the output which came. I was very happy with this. What actually happened, I got a memo from Vice Chancellor and the Dean. You are disrupting in regular teaching, bypassing the curriculum, and letting students do what they should not be doing. So how one formally reprimanded. I have the minutes of the meeting. No? I was called to explain why I did that assignment. I thought they will actually say, great, let's make it. So this is the problem actually, design profession and design education. We are doing great disservice to India, but considering that India is not global, Spain is global, why Kerala is not global? Actually, the entire design community, according to me, suffers from a colonial mindset. We continue to believe that India is the English-speaking country. Quite learned people on LinkedIn will forward obscure essays of, according to me, minor minds to study and learn how to do this and how to do that. But none of them even know these works and what great wisdom they contain within the Chitra Sutra for fine arts, Natya Shastra for all movement, Danya Lok, how to create great meaning, Samrangan Sutradhar, processes for product design and architecture, Vastu Sutra Upanishad, how to create essence of forms. It should be required reading for any design schools because they carry very high how meaning is created. So according to me, design education in India is deeply sick and we need to take urgent action to make it healthy. As of now, you can only learn design in two places, either IITs and NIDs or all the other schools. Their owners don't want to open a design school. They are entering the design education business. I personally experienced this. IITs, the big problem is you require a PhD to teach in IIT. So all these faculty members come who cannot design themselves. They can write internationally publishable papers, but they cannot design. So the best students in India, it's like they're learning surgery from surgeons who don't do surgery themselves. The private design schools are run as design education business. The owner doesn't care. Actually, what happens if you're in education business, if you open a BA BCom course, you can only charge very limited fees, maximum 50,000. But in design course, no limit. Depends on how you market. You can charge 4 lakh, you can charge 10 lakh, you can charge 18 lakh, depending on who partners you internationally. So they want students at any cost. I was told, in front of me, it was told, we want students. Get me numbers. Then there is the coaching class mafia. You cannot escape this. Unless you pay them, they won't direct students to your school. So all the top schools actually partner with coaching classes. There is a bidding. 50,000 per student if admitted. And all kinds of other things. Student acquisition cost goes as much as 1,60,000 just to get one student. Everybody is admitted. I was in a meeting, what DAT you call, or design aptitude test is called. You do interviews, you make them shoot a song, but there's an instruction, admit everybody. Just go through the exercise. Bring numbers. They get numbers. Global education, cutting edge curriculum, world-class faculty, global collaborations. From where they get? If you are any good at all, you will make loads of money, then you will do teaching in a design school. So where they get this cutting edge, world-class faculty? The biggest problem in a design school is to get good faculty. You don't get. Classes of 450, which means mass teaching. Everybody gets the same assignment. Everybody learns absolutely same. This is how they present their work. All dutifully painting the color circle, all dutifully doing like you are creating 450 clones, not creating individual creative people. And they are busy conducting classes, grading, then large thing, they have LMS to fill every day, then another day comes, another day did a break. So all they do is transfer third-hand knowledge. I'm not saying third-rate knowledge, I'm saying third-hand knowledge, because they didn't discover any of what they are teaching. They learn from their teacher, who learned from some other teacher, so you never learn from original creator. They have nothing original to transmit. Students are students. They can be failed, So they do whatever you ask them to do very dutifully. Even if it's nearly the same curriculum which was in Ulm school and Basel school is continuing in all design schools in India. So created for Germany or Switzerland. So this is what happens. And what makes me terribly sad is lakhs of young people full of energy, wanting to become creative people, are shortchanged like this. They are conned into believing that they are getting good education. And with AI coming now, they will not get any jobs because they are not being told any design skills. We had this club, a better designer will win, not AI. But with Indian education system, AI will win. Designers won't get job. So we need to celebrate. We are a great culture. I think nothing like India. Being Indian, ancient civilization, great repository, knowledge, wisdom. We compare with European countries, total population, I took top 8 countries, 33 crore. Number of design schools is 1,120. Obviously, a design school in Germany is teaching design in German, and one in Italy is teaching design in Italian, and the one in Holland is teaching in Dutch, and one in Portugal in Portuguese. Our population is 113 crore language, different languages, all of them. Nearly all of them are more than any of those individual European countries. Number of design schools in Indian languages, 0. Are we England? Only 7% of the population knows. We are talking about user experience. We are ignoring the language of the user completely. Who are we working? Who are our masters? Who are employing us to become slaves again? Our responsibility should be to whom? So you do Google search, it says there isn't a scientific category or reliable total count for Malayalam design school. We say number of, because design education primarily offered in. Now the beautiful thing is all of our script have had a long history. They are written different, their character is different, the people are different. And if you explore that, many different expressions will emerge, which will show the great diversity of Indian graphic design. So for me, the only way forward seems to be the design community to be strong should itself take the ownership of teaching design to a student. We want to make Olympic champions, we should directly take responsibility. We cannot leave to businesses doing it. So this is a pilot I'm doing in Indore, where, because I taught design for 45 years, and my students don't say no when I call them to teach in this school, we have the best of Indian professionals coming and teaching. This is a physical model. We have hardly 2 faculty members, but one of another self-made, very, very bright designers from India, they come and teach. But according to me, this model is scalable and replicable. And if we, actually I'm quite often invited to become judge in international poster competition, international, and you feel so sad. Either there are no Indian entries or they are copies of the West. For a country like India, it's a shame. It's like 1.5 billion people, one gold medal somebody gets, whole country celebrate, while China gets 80 gold medals. So something wrong we should take. And it's so easy to do. Because Professor Sugira told me, consciousness is a continuity. So you carry the knowledge of your culture within you and you can awaken it very fast. So if we get together very quickly, Indian design can shine again. Thank you.